What's up, folks? It's your boy MMG Smurf here, coming to you live. And today we're going to be listening in on the Animal Farm AMA featuring Forex Shark, the developer of Drip and the Animal Farm. So Forex also had an update for us this morning. So, when I want to do these updates, I like to have the whole pig army behind me. There we go. Leg leader up there. But yeah, Forex Shark also had an update today, letting us know that they're going to push back the Moonshot Hunters AMA, which was scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern, so they could work on something which they found last night while going over things, even though everything's wrapped up, right? And so, what did they find? So this Forex says, while we were going over everything last night, we found a benign issue regarding people's pending dogs showing as if they have been earning dogs the whole time it's been paused. And so, again, it's a benign issue, but it will be showing there's something that shows that people have been earning dogs the whole time. And so I don't know if that'll fix itself when they claim or what, but they want to make sure that they fix that so that it's not confusing for folks. So I'm going to read the rest of this, even though it's pretty much just going to say everything that I just said. Although benign, it needs to be addressed before we go live, or else it will cause confusion that we do not need. We are working on it right now. We didn't change anything with dogs, so we have been focused on pigs, piggy bank, pig pen, and pigs master chef. While we were preparing for today, we realized there would be confusion if we did not make a slight change in reference to dogs. Anyway, not a big deal, but it's something that needs to be done and then tested. With all the critical issues people have been experiencing on the developers platform lately, we know even a slight UI issue could cause unrest and will settle for nothing less than perfection. I will be pushing back the 10 a.m. AMA with MSH Moonshot Hunters so I can put our full attention on giving updates when I can. I will still be getting in the Animal Farm voice chat at 12 Eastern noon as planned to get everyone on the same page. Red exclamation marks. The mighty leader Forex Shark. All right, cool. So yeah, there's that information. There's I followed two Forex Shark call things. This one's probably the wrong one. I don't know. But yeah, that's the update from Forex Shark. At this point, we're just waiting for the AMA to start. What does Thunder Breezy say about Grinch Bucks? Grinch Bucks finally crossed over 5,000. I don't know if that's earnings or people. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for the AMA to start. I have paused the. Where's that message from Forex? Hold on. I have paused the chat to prevent scammers. I will be starting voice chat in a few minutes. It says Forex Shark at 8:54 my time, so it's 11:54 Eastern. And so, without any further ado, I'm just gonna put this on the flag for a moment and play a few tunes maybe, and we'll get started in just a second. I wonder if I can find this one song and put it in my list. I would like to. I don't think he has that song out on his thing now. It's a shame, bro. I was gonna play the Deep I Proof Why Giving Up on Forex song, but I don't think he's released it, honestly. Which is a shame. It's okay. I got a whole playlist of songs.
I see y'all keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. ICO, keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
I've been building up my long bitch. Straight crypto, multi-milli rich. And I'm fucking with my main clique. Tether Federal Reserve, bitch. Straight fucking with the ICOs. I'm in Davos doing crypto blow. GDP ain't a thing to me. Crypto naughty, one world currency. You think you're safe? Think again. Your money's gone, one click away. Pump and dump, get your hopes up, fuck you right. Bought supply, then dumped it all. Coin daddy don't give no fucks.
ICO, keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. ICO, keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
I pump and dump, then I short. Oh well, in the balls on my court. I play this game like a sport. Sick games and opposite resorts. From the book, now I'm up in your wallet and taking your funds. And on the run, got 99 problems, but crypto ain't one. Taking your bitch to feel bad for you, son. Private info, private keys, throwing arrow offline overseas. Blow with Quinn Daddy overbeats, making moves like Nova G. Love it when you call me Big Shill, rockin' chin chill off that red pill. Looking at crypto like it's real, while fiat blows in the wind like a pinwheel.
T-Ho, tales from the blockchain. Coin Daddy, tales from the blockchain.
ICO, keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay. ICO, keep your holdings on my blockchain. Cryptosphere, making motions in the blockchain. Pump and dump, make the holding prices inflate. Get my money up the well till your fish stay.
Or you go to deposit, if you don't have enough of one asset to buy the asset that determines your ROI, you end up losing whatever asset you tried to buy the partial ROI asset with. And we came up with a solution that allows us to allows for the partial or the buying of fractal assets, right? So essentially the ability to buy fractal assets on for both assets on the contract, which is something that's never been able to do. And you can look at any of these mining protocols, they all have the same issue where if they get too large, they essentially break because you can't buy partial assets, and it becomes you know, an imbalance of power between large users and small users. And we were able to come up with a solution for that, you know, I'm extremely excited about. And I'm very confident about the contracts themselves, all of the contracts, because we've done a huge amount of testing. So, let me see. Yeah, we still got a lot of people coming in here, so I'm still going to give it a few more minutes before I give an update on the actual situation. So.
Alright, so it sounds like he's gonna let us wait for just a second. I don't know how long he's gonna have us waiting. I do have it that we are in that voice chat now, so we can't miss it. Should Forex start to speak?
Let me make an announcement on the call channel as well, so people are know that we started it. People that aren't paying attention to this chat.
All right, so while Forex is giving people time to jump into the voice chat because he started pretty late, So while he's doing that, I am going to play a drip ad really quickly. Maybe some of you have never seen this before. But if you've never seen this before, maybe you're just not finding the Animal Farm or Piggy Bank or whatever. You're coming in this cycle of ROI dApps. This is a very good video to watch or listen to, featuring Daily Income Guru as they break down Drip and why it is such a monumental platform and innovation in DeFi.
All right, good morning, good morning. This is Daily Income Guru with your mindset change. Let's change your mindset. Let's show you the difference between and the power between this beast and every other project that's out there. That people, you know, before we've had that mentality of I want a 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, and then move on to the next project. Well, I want to tell you, change that mindset here with Drip. This is not what Drip is about. This is not the power of Drip.
So
you understand,
let me just get into it now. We have like 1,500 people in here. More people will come in, I'm sure, but let me just get the information out here now, and then if new people come in, whatever the case is, you guys can help share this information. So we have been spending the past week doing all, well, more than the last week, but within the last week, we had everything finished as far as all of the development finished. And we spent the last week doing extensive testing on all of the contracts. We did this utilizing, dummy contracts on a side chain, essentially, which is a perfect way to do it because we're taking the state of the actual Binance Smart Chain when we paused it, and we're able to then test from that point on. So when we unpause, everything will be in the same exact state as when we paused it, just with a different piggy bank distribution. Now, the past 48 hours, we've been doing the actual deployment of the real contracts, so we could be prepared to go live and just essentially unpause it and go live. It was a very long deployment process, right? Because not only do we have to deploy the scripts, we also have to take over 60,000 different transactions and credit them in the contracts to bring them back up to the state that the old contracts were in before we paused it. So we've been doing that. That's what we've been spending the past 48 hours doing. And essentially, when we finished this process, we realized that the way that the UI is wired is essentially accounting for dogs as if dogs have been being minted this whole time, even when it was paused. Now, I'm sure everybody knows that we can't have a situation where dogs have been being minted while everything's paused for the past month or so, and just go live and have all of these dogs available to claim, right? So what we're doing right now is going over all of the transactions to see going over all of the holder info, right, to see what all of the pending dogs are. Then we're matching up with what the UI is telling us what the pending dogs are, and then running some tests to ensure that the pending dogs that the dashboard is going to give will be the exact amount of pending dogs that people are supposed to get when we go when we unpause and go live, and ensuring that when we do go live, no one will get dogs that have been minted over the past month while we've been paused. Now, we didn't change anything about dogs or any of the dog contracts. So our full focus has been on the new pig contracts, the new piggy bank, pigs, pig pen, and pigs master chef contracts. And that's where our full focus has been on, because we need to launch all new contracts there of those, those products, and then feed data to them to bring them up into the state before we paused. Right? We didn't change anything about dogs. So although we tested the whole ecosystem altogether, including the dogs contracts, that was in the state these contracts were in when we paused. Now, if we were to, unpause now, the dogs contract, since that's the same contract, we never touched that at all. We never changed anything there. That contract will be starting at the state it was. What we need to test, right, is it going to start at the state it was when we paused, or is it going to start at the state at which it is right now? And we need to ensure that no additional dogs will be minted when we unpause, right? And that the UI, given the changes we made, will give the correct amount of dogs. So, basically, right now we're just running those tests. We will know very shortly the amount of pending dogs that everybody's owed. Right now, BB and Sans are doing that. Myself and Sans, Sans is a developer. We bought him for quality control. We're 100% focused on the piggy bank contract, coming up with the solutions for piggy bank, the distribution, coming up with the solutions on how to quarantine mechanisms and functions in the contract in case issues ever came up in the future, to be able to deal with that, coming up with solutions where if we were botted at some point in the future, how we could develop the protocol so it wouldn't have a negative impact, because there's essentially no way you can prevent botting without seriously limiting the ability for regular, legitimate buyers. So you need to create a situation where even if someone does bot, you have a deep enough liquidity pool or some sort of mechanism like a bonding curve to essentially allow that huge buy that comes in to be a positive thing, right? Benefit everybody and not be something where they are, pushing the price way up against everybody or anything like that. So we've spent the past month or so coming up with these solutions, and BB has essentially been working on the UI, and that was what he was handling, and then when we came together over the past 40 hours to put it all together, we realized that there is the potential that the UI could display more dogs than what people are actually owed if the UI is essentially looking at the amount of blocks that have passed since the last time people deposited, withdrew, or compounded, because essentially the way that the way it determines what is pending, what the pending reward should be, is by looking at when was the last time there was a compound, and when the deposit was, or when the last time a withdrawal was, how many blocks have passed since then, and then it displays this as the amount of rewards that should be paid out. So we have, put the necessary mechanisms in place so no one will get additional dogs that are minted as it's been paused over the past month. The issue is ensuring that the front end also displays this correctly and doesn't display it as if they should get dogs that have been minted over the past month. So really, it's just a matter of being extremely diligent and extremely careful not to go live and have some confusion. We know all the craziness that's gone on with other platforms and other development teams and other projects recently, and we've done so much extensive work on the contracts that we know they're as secure as can be, and there's no potential issues there. But I also know that even if there was some small UI issue where it says that people are owed more dogs than they should get, it could cause confusion. It could cause some unrest, because I know people are already anxious because of all the things that have gone on with other projects and everything else. And I just want to ensure that our launch is perfect, right? That there's no potential issues at all. So right now we're just running a few tests, right? We'll know. We'll definitely know by the end of the day exactly what the situation is, and what we're. I think what the most probable scenario is that we spend this morning running tests just to ensure that there is going to be no UI issues at all in regards to dogs, which we didn't change anything about dogs at all. So, and we were not focused on dogs as much because we were not, we had not changed anything about dogs. But while we were, essentially in the past 48 hours while we were hooking it up, it just came to me that the way that it determines the amount to display as pending rewards is the amount of blocks that have passed since the last time someone withdrew relative to their deposit, and that just made me think, we better just run a test there to make sure that it's not going to display that people are owed more dogs than they should. Even if that was the case, that people were displayed more dogs than they should, they wouldn't be able to get those dogs. So, this has nothing to do with any kind of contract issues or anything like that. It's just a matter of ensuring that the front end displays correctly. So, for sure, we'll know by the end of the day if this is the case or not. And I don't want to go live. I don't want to leave it in limbo where people are not sure if we're going to go live or not today, and then I announce an hour or two from now we'll go live in an hour. I don't want to catch anybody off guard. So, what is most probable is that we'll run our tests, determine whether we need to make a UI adjustment or not, And then by the end of the day, give an update. And in this update, I will likely give a date, right? When I say date, I mean in the next, couple days, where we'll go live instead of today, because I don't want to. I want to be able to run these tests just to be super, super diligent. But if we run these tests and we realize, all right, we don't need to make any changes at all, I don't want to catch people off guard and just say we're gonna launch in an hour or two. I would rather get everybody back on the same page and say, we'll go live in 48 hours or whatever the case is going to be. And I don't see this as a negative thing, because really all it means is we're going the extra mile to ensure that there'll be no issues even in the UI or whatever the case will be. And if we have to say we'll go live in 48 hours or something like that, it'll just be more time to promote. So I'll the AMA that I was supposed to do today in Moonshot Hunters, I'll push it till tomorrow. I'll get another couple of major YouTube interviews, and we'll just essentially add to our promotion, right? So really, this is just about us being super, super, super careful. And as far as the contract goes, I'm as confident as can get in the contracts. It's just a matter of ensuring that the UI is going to display the correct data for the contracts that we didn't change at all, just due to the fact that things were paused for a month. And the way that it displays what's pending to be available is based on how much time has passed, essentially. So, but the thing is, we did set the multipliers for the Dogs MasterChef pools and farms to 0. They have been paused. So, it's also extremely likely that this is a complete non-issue. And we won't have to change anything. And if we do have to change something, it's a benign UI type of thing. And in the past, when it's been something like a small UI issue, we've kind of taken the approach where we do a ton of testing, allow people to test. We don't see any issues. Fine. We do a ton of testing in all the contracts that, we get them audited. We do all that third-party testing. Then we open up the front end to admins and people in the DAO group, etc. So they can use the front end. And as long as we don't see anything out of place on the front end, then we go live. And what typically happens is we go live and there's, a couple spelling mistakes, maybe a slight issue here or there with the UI, which is pretty normal for any project. But, I want to ensure that we're setting a new standard here and we're really taking quality control to the next level. And I don't want to have a scenario where we go live and potentially, there is some issue on the front end that's saying people are owed more dogs than they should be, especially if it's dogs that, if it would display the amount of dogs that people would have earned while it's been paused this whole time, it's going to look like a ton of dogs. And that would make people nervous, right? If people all of a sudden think that there's a whole bunch more extra dogs in circulation than there really are, that will cause some panic and unrest. So it's not worth, even though it's a small UI thing and kind of a benign thing, it's not worth taking the approach of, we'll go live. If it's a small UI issue, we'll just adjust it real quick. I want to just make sure that it's 100% verify that there will be no UI issues at all. So I'm going to give an update. Give me a couple hours to finish running these tests. I'll give an update. And in this update, I'll give a detailed update of exactly what the results of the test were and how we're going to move forward here. But I just want everybody to know that the contracts are 100% finished. They're 100% tested. They've been tested for a week now, really, this is just a small UI thing that we noticed after we deployed the actual scripts over the past 48 hours. And it's not even an issue that it's likely that it's not even an issue, but I just want to be 100% sure it won't be, and that involves running a couple tests. So I don't want to repeat myself, so I feel I kind of feel the need to keep saying that I just want to make it very clear that this is just us being super, super diligent and just being 100% sure that there won't even be the slightest UI issue. So, if we went live right now, I'm 100% confident that all the contracts would work correctly. The UI would work correctly, apart from one thing, which would be maybe displaying the incorrect amount of pending dogs. And that's the one thing that we're going to test right now, just to ensure that's not the case. But even if that was the case, people still wouldn't be able to claim those dogs. It would just be a display issue. So it still wouldn't be a major deal. But I just want to, I just want it to be perfect. So give me a couple hours. I'll make a major update at the end of the couple hours, and likely it will be all right. There was this issue was a non-issue, or there was the small UI issue. We fixed it, and we go live in say 48 hours, and tomorrow we do a major AMA in Moonshot Hunters. The following day we do an interview on this channel, etc. Right? So I would say, at worst, there's a small UI issue. We fix it today. We spend the next couple days heavily promoting the new date, and we go live. Right? At best, it's a non-issue. We still set the date for 2 days out or whatever, and and we use the next couple days just to get in more promotion. So let me see. Okay, so it looks like the tests are already finished. So I just got word back that the tests are already finished. So let me just get a chance to look at the results, and I'll give an update very shortly, like within an hour. I paused the chat because there's so many people. This happens all the time. Whenever there's any kind of major announcement coming, it gets flooded with bots. What I'm gonna do is unpause the chat, and I'm going to bring on a couple extra moderators to help. So I'm going to bring on like a dozen extra moderators. I'm gonna unpause the chat, and I'm going to put the cooldown period between people who post, make it a little bit longer, just so if someone does spam, we can get it removed right away, and they don't have the ability to, mass spam. So just let me check out these results right now, and I will get back to you within an hour. All right, and I will take questions, but I don't want to take questions until I see the results of the test, because it's kind of pointless to answer questions until I have all the answers. So I'm going to take care of all this right now. So you'll be hearing back from me very shortly.
Well, that was Forex Shark giving us the update on the animal farm and the piggy bank situation. And I feel like I can stand for any viewers, any listeners right now when I play the sound. Aww. Yeah, it's a big aw feel. But that does happen. You should almost expect that at this point, where it's like, I know they said they're going to be working on everything beforehand, but what about if something does happen anyways, pop up last second? And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, maybe we'll be making another one of these in like an hour or so to see what's up. Or maybe I'll just tune in and record that. But I don't want to wait around for an hour until we get Forex Shark back in the building. What I will say is, get those bags ready. For anybody that didn't see our video yesterday, I'm going to be using Grinch Bucks to create my liquidity and stuff like that for the piggy bank and the animal farm, and this unpausing and relaunching of the piggy bank. So unpausing of the animal farm, relaunching of the piggy bank V2. But I'll be using Grinch Bucks for that instead of selling drip tokens. If I do anything with my drip tokens, it'll just be taking drip and pushing, briefly maybe selling it into BNB, or I guess just BNB, because I just use a smart contract on the website, and then converting it right back into an LP pair. So taking a little bit of loss there, but converting it right back into an LP pair, and then staking it in the farm, because I'm not leaving, as Leonardo DiCaprio says in The Wolf of Wall Street. I'd rather stack those drip bags up, especially in the case that one day you are so fortunate enough to max out your drip account. Number one, you're still creating a passive income on the side with the animal farm the entire time. And then number two, if you do ever get so fortunate enough to max out your main drip account, then you still have some drip which you've been piling up on the side, and you can just take that capital and put it in another drip account, a new faucet for you, or put it in the reservoir one day or something. But you do have that ability then. And that seems like a nice ability. And so that's my plan with the things. Again, using the Grinch Bucks gains or any other farms gains, not using directly drip to amplify my current holdings or anything like that. And just staying in the game. But yeah, that's all I have for you this morning. I'm gonna get underway with some Gods and Chain gameplay, looking around the space. I haven't been doing any videos where I just kind of like do my version of Around the Blockchain, where we just like listen to news clips and stuff. But I am working on a way to make that look a little bit better, and I'll start doing that again in the mornings. I'm planning on going a little hard with that this summer, making kind of like a full morning show where I listen to other YouTubers and stuff like that and get into the good information. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Your boy MMG Smurf out.